Praise the Lord. Memories. Those of us that still have them. Hey, you guys. Wow, I packed a lot into this video. It might be one of my favorites. I did this as like a companion piece to the last video I did, but I do go into kind of what the title is at the end. That time I felt the most loved and unloved at the same time. It wasn't that long ago, and it was a good, bad memory. I try to think more of it as good, but I got a lot to say here in this video. Enjoy. Right now, it's my 707th night homeless. I'm right here charging at the library. I just did that video where I say I felt, what's the title of it? About to defeat homelessness and feeling more unloved than I have ever felt in my entire lifetime. That is pretty close to how it feels. Is how it feels. But I am feeling love from a few places right now. This is just minutes after I hit the upload button on that. And I wanted to just tell you, sometimes it feels like YouTube is all that keeps me going. I am feeling love from a few places right now, though. One would be the stranger over here. Why am I feeling love from them? Well, because they came up and they were kind of friendly. They didn't really say much, but they're over there. And one thing I do like about this library is there's an outlet here, there's an outlet over there. And with them basically being polite, they're homeless too. This library is just kind of like a you keep it chill, we'll keep it chill kind of place. If anything was to happen over that way, they're most likely going to find out about it first. And they have a mutual, just kind of like, if anything happens over here, I will be interacting with whatever happens on, right there. Somebody comes up. So I am feeling a little bit of just humanly, worldly, for this other person who's homeless. You can't even see them. Here comes the library truck. See, the world keeps on going while you're homeless. I'm here, so I'm not at that storage unit where I don't feel good there at all. I don't like being there at all. I don't. Even though my bed's there, I just don't feel safe there. But another place I'm feeling love. There'd be two other places I'm feeling love. Like this guy in this truck. Can't really say I'm feeling love from him, but he also isn't expecting to love me either. It's just kind of like, he's there. If I was, if I couldn't breathe, well, maybe, he's there. But I don't really feel love there. I do a little bit from this other person because they're homeless and they're going through what I'm going through, Two other places I'm feeling love from would be I heard from two people. First guy I ever dated here. Heard from him a little bit ago. I did see him recently. And I was just like, I don't feel good. And I've been trying to do that all day long. It feels weird, and I'll never forget tonight how it's just like, at one time where I am finally defeating homelessness. It's going to happen. I had the voucher. But do not feel like I have a place to exist in the world at all, anywhere, and nobody cares. He does. He responded, and he was just like, I hate it for you. I can't, have you over. I do have plans. He's going to be somewhere else. But he cares. He does. And then I heard from a new friend that I've had here, and he also is kind of in the same situation. He is homeless, and he's happy that I have the shadows. Happy that I have the voucher, but he can't really get to me, and I can't really be with him. But he is sending me a genuine message of, I hate it, and I feel the same way. that's kind of how that was going. So fell in love from about 3 places. In the rest of this video, I want to tell you about, well, here's a picture of me and my brother Drew, one of the very last ones that there are. Yeah, I'm heavier. It's a 2020. We're in Kansas, exchanging a vehicle. My dad and him came to get the Nissan. A Volvo was ready. I had a Volvo, and then I had the DUI in April 2020, and never drove it. Never drove it since. Do have a driver's license, but picture Drew with me. Am I feeling any love at all from the closest relationship I should have for my entire lifetime? No, none, not at all, 0. And that has been pretty consistent since Thanksgiving. It was pretty much non-existent even before that. I haven't felt love from Drew pretty much the entire time I've been homeless. It is awful. Relationship you have with your brother, and then he just does not have any care available. No love at all from my dad. I don't really think that is possible anymore because he's sleeping with a 7-year-old boy. And also no love at all from my mother. My mother did demonstrate a little bit of love, a tiny bit, when she did tell me that we had a call, and I went up to this library, another one in Denver, and she did like this picture I took where they have like this City Hall museum or something. She did love the picture there, but she really wasn't optimistic on the call, and she was pretty much her regular self. It wasn't a good call. No love from her really, but she did love the picture, but like she doesn't care if I'm alive. Now, as I'm playing this back, I don't know. There's this truck here, feeling a little bit of love from the F-150. It's always here though. I love F-150s. I know you guys are probably like, what did you two talk about on that call? Yeah, I know, I'm just going to tell you. I'm asking her, is Richard alive? The third man she's married to. Third man she's married. See, we married 3 men at one time. She's married to one, and well, if he's alive. My mother could not tell me if Richard is alive. And I'm trying to think of what else. She just refused to answer the question. I told her that I was trying to get into the permanent bed at the homeless shelter, which is like where I'd love to be, but I can't be there because I got there the next day and they're like, oh, we're not taking blue sheets. Even though we said you can be there yesterday in this meeting that you had, we just changed our minds because we can. So that happened. It was a weird call. Every call with my mom is really weird. It's just like, well, you know, I could die because I'm homeless. You should help. But there's also this whole time we don't know about yet on YouTube. I'm telling you now. In October 2022, I made it to a sober living facility at a sober living home in Aurora. After I got back from North Carolina, because, well, we'll go into more of how that happened. But I was getting everyone in my family to, everyone I know that knew my mom, I was like, can you please email her and be like, help keep me there? I passed every single UA. And my mom was just like, the voucher was just like for a while. I had a place, but I was like, I had a place. Okay. My mom was like, I don't see the need for me to be involved, and I'm not going to help you stay there. That's how she was back in 2022, and she ain't got any better. So it's just like she's so messed up. Alright, now getting to the big meat. I want to talk about the time that I felt a lot of love and no love at all while homeless. And that was a really weird experience. And I'll never forget that either. It wasn't that long ago, and it was in San Francisco. I was with my friend Shane, who recently became homeless, and he was trying to get to another city. His work vehicle or something that he works with caught on fire while he wasn't there with it. And so we had some really bad luck. He's also gay. I think his parents were either divorced or never together. It was just, so he's at the statistical likelihood too. He's a really good person and was really my best buddy. We didn't really see or interact with him at all on YouTube. We gave him his privacy, but we were at this park, and it would have been around that time, he was the friend that gave me the food when the homeless shelter ran out of food. It would have been around that time, maybe a couple nights later. Me and him are at the park. We're just kind of like snuggling under a blanket. It's dark. He's from there. I'm not. But I just remember there was just like the wind was shivering and making the trees move. And I just remember having this like very, very, very scared, frightening feeling of like, it is just me and him. And we don't have homes. And we got this blanket. We got each other. But like, I was homeless in Atlanta. I have already been back to see my dad. My mother doesn't care if I'm alive. And my brother doesn't seem to care either. At all. Like, they're completely fine. And I just remember feeling like, oh, like that wind blew. I just remember feeling so bad. I will show you this picture. I'm going to try to find it. So I'll show it to you. This picture would have been at that park. The same park where I'm describing this experience. And I remember holding on to Shane. And I remember just telling him like, oh, it's been like a long ride, Shane. I don't feel good. And he was just like, you're going to just have to hold on to me a little tighter, Nate. And that was a moment where it was like an exchange or transfer of like, he was caring. I have actually really treasured and missed that moment with the way he cared about me in that moment. Since I've been back to Denver, we have communicated very little. I have tried, and I tried more recently, and I have not heard back. Is it likely that Shane may have passed away? Yeah, it significantly is. Just statistically, I do not know. I hope that he is okay. But it is possible that Shane might not be here anymore because he is homeless. It's sad. I hope I see him again. That was a moment that may have changed my life. Just having the care of one person who kind of knows exactly what you're going through like that. And this whole world that never will. I also feel love already from like the future in a way. In this moment. Because I know it will have like shares and loves and likes and like positive comments. It's just like in the future. So I'm kind of drawing love from that place right now. But like right now, it is just like, I can't think of anywhere else to go. And I'm going to get this video done. And probably, if I don't get it done tonight, I'll get it done tomorrow and get it uploaded. But I'm coming right back to the library to look for housing. Be on their computers. But like, I'm probably going to go back to the damn storage unit. But it's just like, I don't feel like, emotionally, I don't feel like I can have movement. Unless I just kind of do these YouTube videos and get out. But it sucks. It's kind of like the end of me being homeless. If I can hold on. But it just is almost like the very worst feeling. And like, it's the most like, you don't feel a sense of accomplishment. You don't feel a sense of anything. Just, you're here at the library charging your phone and nobody loves you. But I have this housing voucher now, but like, it really feels bad right now. We're about to do a prayer, and I wanted to do kind of like a little bonus here in this video and talk real quickly about, Josh Eves again, the guy I was staying with when I was working at 7-Eleven. I was also there in the winter trying to get the job at 7-Eleven. Remember Chipotle and that whole experience? It's like trying to work at Chipotle. All that happened at Josh Eves. Like, I was constantly trying to go back to work, and he was constantly being like, you can't stay here because I just decided to be a slut with a married man or whoever else I'm sleeping with. So I do think there's also like a way to say, I bet Josh can feel loved and unloved at the same time, but I think he's doing a lot wrong. Especially with like sleeping with that married man whose partner is dying of cancer or was, or it's just like, he would not tell me, oh, we have this open there, I'm like, you know what, you don't know that for sure. You ain't the spouse, you ain't the one dying of cancer. And if like the person dying of cancer, like if he was to catch syphilis, I mean, just like that. It's just like, yeah. So I'm gonna keep saying his last name, Josh Eves. It's just kind of like, shame on Josh. Shame on Josh for being that way. Shame on Josh for also, like, refusing to tell his family about me. Like, I was the best influence on Josh, and he was just, like, the worst. But here's the experience. It's this picture right here, and this was a moment I'll never forget. It was also in that video, whatever it's called. It's back there in the winter. I think it's the one about winter. If you can even get in rehab, church still closed, and people sleep outside. We saw a man sleeping right there. It's the video where I'm like, we can get to rehab, let's go to rehab. I'm talking to Penny Adams, who is the McDowell County, West Virginia Economic Development Authority person. But these pictures of this church, and we'll zoom in on like the person there. And I remember thinking the only thing different, like the only thing keeping me from being like that this winter is Josh Eves. And Josh Eves is being a terrible person to like so many people by being that way. And like that was a tough feeling. And like, you know, I was also wondering like about the church and like what they were like it was awful. This person was literally there all the time like that in the snow. And he was like, I'm almost too. And then Josh Eves, like, we'd be going to the grocery store and he would be like, oh God, the homeless problem here has just gotten really bad because I'm just like, you are like selling out all the character that your family ever had. You're being like the most horrible person, Josh. Also couldn't really say that because he was the one providing me shelter. It was just like, it was a very, so that's just like, when I went to California, it was just like, oh, I don't have to deal with that anymore. But like, he's still here, and like, I'm still mad. But not as mad as I was, but it's just like, but I still feel like, that ain't right. Okay, next segment. So, but I hope that these videos and this content will matter and be treasured in some way by someone. And I hope that I connect with people who also can relate to what I'm going through. Let's pray. Dear Father, let's pray for everyone who hasn't had a home, and everyone who feels like they're not loved, and let them know that God loves them. Amen. There was a time I saw a man in my dreams last summer, and he looked so good, and he felt so bad about other things going on in his life, and it was just like, that all I can do is look like $10 million for you right now. And I'll never forget that moment either, and I wanted to let him know, and I think I did, how much I loved him, and that it would be okay. Or I was always gonna hope and love him through it. And I will always mean that, no matter what yours is. So I hope he might see this and know, yeah, you can still reach out to me at any time. He was homeless too, and he was at war for that. So we have to love him, and we ain't gonna stop.